I'm not gonna bore you with the speech of how important discipline is, man, and all that kind of shit. Because you have been told that all of your life, man. By your parents, by your teachers, by everyone on YouTube about how discipline is the way to success, man. Discipline is the tool that you need in order to be successful. You know that already. So I'm not gonna bore you with that speech. What I'm gonna do now, and I'm gonna start by doing this, is clarify to you the importance and the difference between discipline and self discipline, and why you should become more self disciplined, especially. So, think about first the definition of discipline. What is the definition of discipline? Discipline is doing the things you don't want to do in service of a greater good. So all the people that you see around you that are people that are responsible, all of those good girls and good boys that you see around you, they are disciplined. Because even if they are following someone else's orders, the teacher's orders, the boss's orders, their parents' orders, they are disciplined. And the reason why they are disciplined is because they are, by definition, they are doing things they don't want to do. They show up on work on time every single day with no exception. They give and they hand their assignments and homeworks on time every single time. Do you think that someone wants to do homework? Do you think that someone wants to wake up early in order to show up at work on time? Do you think that anyone wants to do that? Of course they don't, bro. Of course they don't want that. That's what makes them disciplined. Because they are doing things they don't want to do. Even if they are just following someone else's orders. So they are disciplined by definition, man. All of these people, those good boys that you see, they are disciplined. However, the main thing that you got wrong, and that a lot of people got wrong, man, including myself in the past, when they think about someone who's disciplined, is that they're actually thinking about someone who's self-disciplined. All of those people that you see, entrepreneurs and businessmen and people that go to a gym and fitness people, they are not disciplined. Or to be more precise, they are not only disciplined, but they are self-disciplined. Think about it for a second. Like the people that you see online that are successful, people like Ayman Gachi and Hamza and all of those successful entrepreneurs, what is the thing that they have in common? That they are their own bosses, right? That's the first thing, obviously. But the skill that they have in common is that they are self-disciplined. And why do you think that is? What do you think the logic is behind self-disciplined people being successful and being at the top? It has to do with the fact that you can't pour from an empty cup. And what I mean by that is that the people that are at the top are leaders. We all know that, right? You know that the people that are at the top of society, they have to have good leadership skills. But the way in which you start that journey to leadership is by becoming more self-disciplined. And the reason is because what I said earlier, because you can't cop from an empty cup. But the logic behind it is that you first have to start by governing your own mind, your own body, your own brain, by governing yourself, by being your own boss, not only in title, by saying, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, man, I control my time. Not by just saying that shit, but also by applying it in the practice. And that's what these people do, man. They are their own bosses in spirit, in mind, and body. The thing that all of these people have in common is that they started going to a gym. That's what they started doing, man. That's how they started, by going to a gym. If you see Ayman Gachi's whole videos, I'm pretty sure he tried to be like a fitness YouTuber, man. But whatever, man. The thing is that they started by going to a gym. Because that's one of the many ways, and in my opinion, the ultimate way to build self-discipline, especially when you're young. So think about this for a second before we go into the next thing. The difference between being disciplined and being self-disciplined. Now I'm gonna talk about the importance of being self-disciplined instead of discipline, of just discipline. The reason why discipline is only gonna get you so far, unlike self-discipline that is gonna get you to the top. And a story that illustrates this point is sadly the story of my uncle. My uncle, he really had to get out of poverty. So ever since a young age, he started taking a lot of responsibility. And the way in which he did that was by following his mom's orders. So he was told at first to get good grades at school. Because that's what responsible kids do, man. And that's what he did, man. He got a 4.0 GPA every single year at school. After that, he was told, go to university and get a degree in a high-paying job, high-paying career. And he got accepted, bro, into the best university in my country. He graduated from that university as an engineer with honors. Like all of those things that I'm saying, like getting a 4.0 GPA every single year, getting accepted into the best university, man. Like I'm just saying that on the surface. It sounds really superficial and simple because I'm just saying it quick. But all of that takes a lot of hard work and discipline, man. My uncle had to become someone really disciplined and hardworking in order to accomplish those things. After that, my uncle was told, get a master's and get a high-paying career, high-paying job. And that's what my uncle did. He got a master's at something and then he just started to climb the corporate ladder. And then he got his last job, man, where he lasted not for 10 and not for 20, but for 30 years. For 30 years, my uncle worked for a company. And guess what happened next, man? After just pouring his heart and sweat into this company, by showing up on time every single day at work, by doing everything that was required from him at that work, at that job, what do you think that happened after 30 years of working for them? He got laid off. And the reason why he got laid off is because they didn't want an old employee anymore, an old expensive employee. And then he started just looking for jobs, man, for a different job. And guess what happened next? No company wanted an expensive 60-year-old employee because they could get someone cheaper outside, or they could get someone younger and pay him the same exact amount of money. Nobody wanted a 60-year-old expensive employee. So my uncle went ahead, and I remember having this conversation with him where he told me, you know what? I'm going to start my own business. I have the skills, I have the experience necessary to make this business successful. And 4 years ago, after getting laid off, my uncle started his own business. And guess how the business went? Having in mind that my uncle is someone really hardworking and smart and disciplined and has all the experience in that market. How do you think that it went? 4 years later, that business my uncle has is making a fourth of what he used to make in that job where he got laid off. Should that be considered success? And it hurts to say this, man, because it's my uncle and I love him, but it's not success. And you know that it's not. You don't consider that success. So what is the lesson that you can get from this story? What is the moral that you can get from this story? The moral that you can get from this, I'm not going to tell you to not work 9 to 5s and to not pursue a career, man, because there's nothing wrong with that. But the moral of this story is that self-discipline is only going to get you so far. And then at some point of your life, sooner or later, you're going to need self-discipline if success is what you're looking for. Self-discipline leads to the top. Repeat after me, man. Self-discipline leads to the top. Nothing else does, man. You can have all of the skills in the world, just like my uncle, man. You can be smart, you can be hardworking, you can have the experience in that market. But if you're not self-disciplined, and you try to start your own business, things are not gonna go well, man. Like, I've seen my uncle, man. I've seen him. Ever since he decided to start his own business and be his own boss, he has not been able to do it. Every time I see him, he's just watching sports, man. It's sad to see. Every single sport that's out there, like, he's watching it, man. Golf, fucking paddle, tennis, basketball, football. If it's a sport, he's watching it. He hasn't been able to put the work by himself, because by just being disciplined, he wired his brain into just following orders and not by being able to just give himself orders, at being his own boss. He doesn't know how to do that because he never trained self-discipline. And if you don't want to end up like my uncle, you gotta become more self-disciplined, because you probably don't want that for yourself, and I don't want that either. If you have watched the video this much, and how can you build more self-discipline? How can you do it, man? And I think I might be biased when I say this, but I think that this framework that self-improvement gives you, it not only improves your mental health, it not only improves your productivity and makes you a much more better human being, but it also levels up your self-discipline. Like, think about it for a second. Like, journaling, man, meditating, taking cold showers, going to the gym, learning. Are any of those things imposed by someone else? Are any of those things that someone else is telling you to do? They're not, man. And because there are things that you are telling yourself to do, you are building self-discipline whenever you do them. Whenever you decide to read something, you are telling yourself what to do, man. That's your bicep curl. That's the rep that you're getting in order to become more self-disciplined. That's the thing that is going to increase the size of your bicep, just like bicep curls, man. Every single time that you tell yourself what to do and you do it, you become a little bit more self-disciplined. And if you do that enough, then you're going to become a little bit more self-disciplined, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more. And little by little, you're going to become someone who's self-disciplined, and that can lead not only himself but also other people. That is not only his own boss, but it's also other people's boss. And more than a boss, a leader. It's not a coincidence that all the successful people that you see online, maybe saying all is exaggerating, but a lot of the people that you see online, entrepreneurs, they started by going to a gym. It's not a coincidence. And the reason why it's not a coincidence is because going to a gym is the ultimate way to build more self-discipline. Because you are telling yourself what to do, and you are doing it, and you are becoming more self-disciplined. Self-discipline leads to the top. If there's something that you can get out of this video, if there's a phrase that you can get after watching this video that summarizes what you need to do from now on, that is, self-discipline leads to success. And how can you build more self-discipline? How can I build more self-discipline? With self-improvement. By doing things that are imposed by myself. By giving myself orders. By giving yourself orders. And acting on them. That's the way to build more self-discipline. And as you know, self-discipline leads to the top. Set the bar high, man. We both know you can.